So we are going to review this ice, and hopefully we'll finish it. We might not. Look at ice Zion in the mimer. So ice Zion, which we learned most of already, is beginning with this idea that's thematic to this mimer, gashmius, physical. So we compare, and this is a teaching of the Tzemach Tzedek, that the mitzvahs are like seeds that are going to flourish, are going to blossom. Now, for a seed to blossom, it has to be in the earth. You don't put a seed on your dining room table and it blossoms. So similarly, the Tzemach Tzedek says, since there's this verse comparing to the mitzvahs to these like blossoming seeds, that's telling us that for the mitzvahs to blossom, they have to be in the physical. They have to be in the earth. They have to be in physicality. I mean, that's the whole point we keep saying here. The maila, the advantage, the superiority of the physical, that's where God is found. The yesh hanivra is the yesh hamiti. Within the physical, as we live our physical lives, no, we were not meant to live in caves. We were not meant to be remote from the world. We're supposed to be in the world and using that world to serve Hashem. And we see that that's true for every mitzvah, meaning for a mitzvah to function, the mitzvah is physical. As the Rebbe said in previous ice, or maybe before that one, maybe 2 ices ago, that even mitzvahs like loving Hashem, or fearing Hashem, or believing in Hashem, or having pleasure in Hashem, to fulfill those mitzvahs, they all have to be fulfilled within a physical body that is reacting to that emotion. There should be an expansion in your body from love. There should be a compression in your body from fear and awe. There should be an expansion in your body from pleasure and delight in Hashem, like Nachum of Chernobyl and his Amen Yesh Mei Rabbah. We're all supposed to have these physical responses because we're physical people, and if we're really feeling it, it will be physically manifest. So every mitzvah, including mitzvahs of thought, including mitzvahs of emotion, are all in the end of the day physical. And of course, the person doing the mitzvah is a physical person. A malach can't do a mitzvah. A neshama above can't do a mitzvah. Disembodied souls don't do mitzvahs. Angels don't do mitzvahs. Only human being, Jews, souls and bodies in this physical world. So we have to be physical to do the mitzvah, meaning souls above can learn Torah. Actually, they do learn Torah. That's actually what they do, is learn Torah. So Torah study could be done, but not the mitzvah component of Torah study. And no mitzvahs can be done. To do a mitzvah, by definition, you are a human being. So we, the doers of the mitzvahs, are humans, right? A computer can't do a mitzvah for you. A virtual AI can't do a mitzvah for you. An angel or a soul can't do a mitzvah for you. Only we human beings can do mitzvahs, and the mitzvahs themselves are embedded in physicality. Some mitzvahs are more physical, but even mitzvahs of thought and emotion have to be expressed in the physical. So again, this was a very strong point, and then we said that's why we are the ones that give sovereignty to God, to Hashem. That's why we make him king. As we know, it says, Ein melech below am. There's no king without a people. And the Rebbe decoded this word am and connected it to the word oimimus, which means these dimmed coals, these coals that just have some flicker of life in them, some like little ember glowing. That's all that they have. I like that, because sometimes I think that's what I feel like. You know, I'm like so done. I'm like, oh yeah, me and that coal. And the Rebbe is saying, and that coal has the power. The souls above don't have the power. The angels above don't have the power. Almost as if when we're in our weakest space, we're in our strongest space. Because we're so weak, which means we're so under and entrenched in the physical. I mean, if we were in a very spiritual space, we wouldn't feel so weak. We would be a coal aflame. That's not Am. Am is the very weak, barely burning coal. When you're really weak, which means you're really immersed in the physical, that's when you have the power to draw out the hisnasis, to draw out the sovereignty of God himself. Because even though we're so weak, somehow we're still doing it. Somehow we're still pushing ourselves. We still come to class. We're still learning. We're still holding on. And that's enormously powerful because it's coming from the physical. It's so enormously powerful that we pull down the sovereignty of Hashem by that action, a melech below am. When we're in that am, oimimus, dimmed coal space, what we do then with the physical as physical beings still serving Hashem pulls out Hashem's sovereignty, which will be, of course, completely actualized by Mashiach, but we're doing it now. Now, saying on a midrash, based on a pasuk, Avas Olam Avtich, an eternal love, I love you, is what God is saying to the Jewish people. And the midrash says, is this a love of 3 years? Is this a love of 10 years? Is this a love of 100 years? No! Avas Olam Avtich. I love you with an eternal love. And the question is, according to Hasidus, The term avas olam refers to a not so high love. Now, for us, it would be a very high love, and we'd be very happy if we had an avas olam. But when we think of the levels of love, as like we bring out in Tanya, there's avas olam, and then there's avarabba, and then there's avas anugim. That's like, whoa, high. So avas olam is a wonderful love for Hashem, and anyone that has it is amazing. But it's not anywhere near the highest love. It's considered, relatively speaking, a lower love. Yet the pasuk is saying, Avas olam haftich. God is saying to us, this is God's love for us. Avas olam haftich. I love you with this eternal love. And the Midrash is saying it's such an amazing love. It's not a 3-year love or a 10-year love or a 100-year love. It's Avas olam. It's eternal. So we have these two different things, both loves. Our love for Hashem that doesn't seem so high. Hashem's love for us that seems amazing, but it's the same name. Like there's many names out there. What's going on? Explain olam, world or eternal. There's two, broadly speaking, worlds: alma discalia, alma discasia. Alma discalia, the lower world of revelation. It's low enough that it could be revealed. Alma discasia, the much higher and therefore must be world of concealment, which the Rebbe says is basically, in a sense, alma discalia is like the energies of Mimale, small enough to be constricted and within and maintain the details. And alma discasia, so high it's concealed, is like the world of the energies of Soivev, beyond, remote, just encompassing, can't be within, too powerful. So avas olam, there's the olam of alma discalia, and there's the olam of alma discasia. When we're looking at alma discalia, the lower world, the world of revelation, the world of Mimale, that's what we mean by this lower love, avas olam, because it's a love. It's called avas olam. Why do we call it avas olam? It's a love of world. It's a love we have for Hashem that comes from our contemplating the world and being inspired by our relationship to Hashem, which sounds good, and it is good, but it also sounds and is limited, because the product is going to be like its antecedent. So if it's the world that's inspiring my love for Hashem, since the world is limited, the love that emerges from that is also limited. So therefore, yes, it's a limited love. It's a love, and it's great, and it's a love for Hashem, and you created it, and we're so proud of you, and it's amazing. It's a love you created with your seichel, and that's awesome. But in essence, it's a limited love. It is a limited love. It is a lower love, relatively speaking, because it came from a place of limitation, from world. And therefore, what was created, the love that flowed from that, looking at the world and being inspired about Hashem's greatness and goodness and compassion and majesty, is going to be a limited love. That's all from the Amadis, Galia, revealed world, revealed love, limited world, limited love. But then there's the Eibishter's love. And the Eibishter's love is a totally different dimension of Olam. It's Alma Discasia, and it's beyond Alma Discasia. It's his love. Olam here is like eternal, not world, eternal. As we see, the Midrash says, is this a love of 3 years? Nah. Is this a love of 10 years? Nah. Is this a love of 100 years? Nah. This is Avas Olam. This is an eternal love, Avtich. The Midrash says, I love you eternally. So what does this mean, 3 years, 10 years, 100 years? So 3 years is a reference to the worlds of Bri, Yitzir, and Asiya. Well, first of all, they are three, Bri, Yitzir, Asiya. But more than this, each of these worlds have a threefold dimension of person, space, and time. Those three components of soul, of time, and of space are the components of, not that these aren't physical worlds, they're spiritual worlds. So in a very different way than we think of person, space, and time, but there's a component of person, space, and time in the worlds of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya. So that's why they refer to as 3 years, because they have this threefold dimension. So does Hashem's love for us come from a level of God of Bria, Yitzir, Asiya? No way, much higher. Okay, so maybe it's a love of 10 years. Well, 10 years is Olam Hatzilus. Why? Because in Olam Hatzilus, we have the real expression of the 10 spheros. You could say, wait a minute. All of the worlds have 10 spheres. Bria has 10 spheres, Yitzir has 10 spheres, Asiya has 10 spheres. Why is only Atzilus the world of 10 because of the 10 spheres? But the 10 spheres of Atzilus are totally different dimension of spheres. They're called Bli, Ma, they're Iver Chayu Ichad, Iver Kamu Ichad. They're on a spiritual level, they're the real 10 spheres. And everything else is sort of like their fallout, like creation's much lower from them than them. So the real 10, though there are 10 in Bria and Yitzir and Asiya, but the real 10, the Bli Ma 10, is an Atzilus. Okay, so Avas Ha'olam Avtich, Hashem loves us from the energy of Atzilus. No way! It's not a love of 10 years. It's beyond that. So maybe it's a love of 100 years. What's 100? 100 is Kesser. Why is 100 Kesser? Because that's the complete completion. That's the Soivev already. We're beyond. Is that where this love is found? No. Not found in Kesser either. Not found in Soivev either. Why not Soivev? I thought Soivev is like remote and makif, encompassing, not limited. Never says. True, relative to the memale, the within energy, Soivev is remote and encompassing, not limited. But Soivev means it's surrounding a world. So its whole identity is in relationship to creation. Even though it's surrounding the creation, but it's surrounding creation. It has a relationship. It has a limitation because its whole functionality is vis-a-vis that creation that it is surrounding. So it's too big to get within, but it still has a relationship. So there is still some limitation. No, God says, Avas Olam Avtich. My love for you has no limits. My love for you is Avas Olam. It's limitless. It's eternal. That's the love God has for us. Then we say, so we understand Avas Olam, Alma Disgalia, Memale, limited contemplation on limited world to inspire myself in love of Hashem creates limited love. I get that. Avas Olam, Olam, eternal, limitless, not even from Soivev, beyond Soivev, from Hashem's essence and being. I get that. But then you come back to this question. So then I come back to my same question. So why do these two loves have the same name? There must be a connection. And where do I shine in? Avas Olam on the lower level is my love for God. But Avas Olam on the higher level is his love for me. So what does that have to do with anything, so to speak? This is the whole Mimer is talking about me and Gashmias and our abilities to be this and these damp and darkened coals, and we do so much. So what does that have to do with Hashem's love for us? The says, oh, because we do have work to do here. Hashem has this love for us. We have to bring it down. We have to draw down into the gashmis of our world. So we love Hashem with an Avas Olam. We're limited. We're human. We're very small. I mean, can't have Avas Olam is pretty good. We look at the finite world and we have a finite inspiration and a finite love. But you know what? It's really powerful. It's finite. It's limited. We're finite. We're limited. But coming from that physical reality we have, this is really powerful to have this love for Hashem. So Hashem loves you. Avas Olam Avtich. And our limited, finite love for Hashem can draw down Hashem's infinite love for us through all the layers of Keser and Atzilus and Bria, Yitzir and Asiya, not 100, not 10, not 3, all the way down to our physical reality. That this enormous power is like there's a fusion, there's a synergy of my Avas Olam and Hashem's Avas Olam. And through my Avas Olam, through being a human being in a physical world and doing all this physical, I can act. Hashem loves me no matter what. It's not like his love is contingent on if I'm being good today or not. Hashem loves us eternally. But I can bring it down, and that love can shine. A love beyond Soivev, a love beyond Keser, can shine within the physicality of the world. There's a pasuk that says, Baruch Hashem Elokei Yisrael min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam. Baruch is the idea of bringing down, like havracha, so drawing down. So min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam, we have to be mavrich. We have to draw down this love that's so high and fuse it with ourselves and really show there's no difference. There's one reality. It's not like out there, we're so spatial. Our conception of reality is so spatial. So there's us, and then there's a Asiya, and then there's a Yetzirah, and then there's a Bri, and then there's an Atzilus, and then there's a Keser, and higher and higher and higher, and somewhere 1 million miles away. The sun is 92 million miles away. This is past that. It's one. Kulo Chai. It's all one. I'm doing Baruch. I'm taking this highest levels and I'm pulling it down and showing that like the ceiling and the floor is one. That's a quote. Ceiling, that's there. The floor, that's here. We're all one. And when I do this and I pull it down and there's this fusion, there's a change. And we're really expressing this essence, energy of Hashem that we've referred to several times in this mimer. Ani havaya lo shinisi. I don't change. I'm unchanging. Up there, down here, I'm unchanging. Now, we don't see all this now, obviously, because it's like, wait, we've never accomplished this? We've accomplished this. We've done this. We're doing this. We're amazing. We'll see it by Mashiach. By Mashiach, it will be revealed. Ani havaya lo shinisi. By Mashiach, all of these accomplishments will be revealed. But by us being those coals, those barely flickering coals, and still hanging on, and still doing, and still persevering, and still pushing ourselves, and doing another mitzvah if we feel like it or not, and learning if we feel like it or not, and going to a class or a farbrengen if we feel like it or not, and working to inspire our kids if we feel like it or not. By us doing that, it's so precious, because Hashem knows exactly what we're going through, and we're still connecting to him. And that's why we, not those burning coals, not those souls and angels, no, we, the dim coals, we're pulling out Hashem's sovereignty. We're fusing this Avos Olam with our Avos Olam. We're creating the reality that we revealed by Mashiach, and that is the ice.